Great day. I wanted to cover this um, lawsuit. So, Brian, this guy had left a company because he was afraid that the company was taking advantage of him and lying to him, etc. And he didn't get his correct answer on a lawsuit, so then he just quit, maybe early. Knock wood, he's complete with all that and everything's moving forward. But in any event, just wanted to cover what the lawsuit actually was. Nothing around taking advantage of people whatsoever. They owned a building in probably Dallas Fort Worth area of Texas, and let's see, uh, filing Chapter 7 filing focused on limited action to resolve remaining financial burdens from pre-pandemic unused in-person facility leases. The company stated that this action would not impact their customers or worldwide operations as it is largely transitioned to an online delivery program. So they, took out a mortgage or whichever it was, leased this building, and then just started doing everything online. So now not only are they saving tons of money with the real estate, I mean their profits must have skyrocketed after pandemic because they didn't now they're no longer in facilities. So they're not paying rent or whatever they were paying, doing everything online. So yeah. Oh yeah. So and then look, they didn't have to they're not forcing him to win the law. They took it to court and I don't I mean it's over. Whether they got the bankruptcy or not really doesn't matter. They shot for it and are doing everything within the law and all that. So
Group
this Rick Ross.
founded by Werner Erhard.
Okay, so he's like Landmark was founded by Warner Earhart. It's like not technically. Technically, Warner founded Est, and then he sold his rights over to the employees, and now it's owned by Landmark. So he's not really the founder of Landmark. And I mean, I may have said that before, and I'm not saying that impetus that he caused didn't cause Landmark to become a company owned by its employees. But that's like saying Buddhism caused Werner. It's like completely wholly unrelated.
His given name is Jack Rosenberg. He created what was called Erhard Seminars Training, or EST.
It's not a crime or anything bad about you just because you change your name.
The introductory
Maybe it is. Maybe it says something. Maybe it doesn't. Like it's not enough info.
course is called the Forum, and Landmark Education is the name that they changed S to after Erhard supposedly sold the company around
Yeah, I mean, it gets he was getting royalties for a little while, but he's not anymore.
1992. But in my belief,
He does his own speaking gigs, but it's unrelated to Landmark.
it's my belief that he still pretty much runs the show.
He's not involved at all. I mean, maybe he talks to his brother and sister who run it, and but it's owned by the employees. His brother and sister are, chair and co-chair or whatever, and then there on top of them is a board of directors, and then above that is the court of public opinion, which is this right here, right now, and the internet and people talking, and
He's what is
93% satisfaction rate.
he now? He's in his 80s, I think, and he's still
And the whole point was never about Warner. It's about the ideas, and the ideas have lived for thousands of years and will continue to live on. It just wasn't marketed to the effect that the mass majority of people would get these ideas before it was, written in a book, and then there was no printing press, so barely anybody read the book. And then there was a printing press, but books were expensive, and then people had to read, and people don't always like reading. Maybe a human body wasn't made for us to read. Um, which is why it's so great that we have audiobooks now and I can read the book and with a highlighter and have the audio. Well, I'm having the audio read the book for me, really.
going, still running around,
Warner's not running around. He's never running
doing
around.
lectures and whatnot.
Yeah, it's not the setup isn't so good when it's made to look like a lecture. It's not meant to be a lecture. It's meant to be the person that's leading the conversation speaking and you listening. So if there's a speaking and a listening, it's not a lecture.
And Landmark Education is
And there's like hey, who wants to share? Let's break up into twos and share with your partner who's sitting next to you. I mean, it's not sitting anymore because it's all online,
It's a
but
multi-million dollar global
there's nothing wrong with making multi-millions.
corporation
Nothing wrong with being a global corporation.
that is probably making more money now from selling courses than they ever have.
Yeah, a 93% satisfaction rating for 34 years. Seems like one probably the most stellar company on the planet. What did you think it was going to look like when a company actually did the right thing and was effective?
And if people go to culteducation.com, you will
You can go to culteducation.com. Landmark's not a cult. Cults are what cults are.
see one of the largest archives on Landmark Est in the forum that
Yeah, a lot of people say a lot of things.
you can access online. And for this reason, Werner Erhard sued me for $1 million.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he sued me for
Like, who ever heard of?
Oh yeah, he sued me for $1 million.
Well, yeah, you're gonna talk trash.
And after about a year, he apparently, I mean, the Landmark dismissed their own lawsuit, which was very humiliating. And the reason they did it, I think, is because we were in federal court and I was represented pro bono for free by a wonderful law firm, Lowenstein Sandler.
Yeah, they just didn't want to take him in. I don't know.
In New Jersey, and by Peter Skolnick, who was then a partner at the firm. And his work was brilliant with his associate, Michael Norwick, an attorney that also worked at Lowenstein Sandler in New Jersey. And they just beat the crap out of Landmark in discovery and in motions and so forth. And Landmark realized that they weren't going to bankrupt me through legal fees and that they were going to have to surrender documents and information through discovery.
Well, there you go.
And they went to the federal
You're
judge.
trying to rip them off and just get the documents. Maybe they don't want to give up their proprietary documents. Okay, lording historical analysis. In any event, you can go look at this website.
In discovery, and the judge said, no, which means that you could go online and probably see things that were being disclosed through discovery, or eventually find these documents. And what my lawyers asked Landmark is, look, we want to see every personal injury claim that you've settled out of court. We want to see all of the times that you have threatened people with litigation in order to get them to shut up. And Landmark decided, no, if we have to start releasing all that, it's not going to go well for us. And so they dismissed their own lawsuit. Megan, I've been sued.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're not going to let yourself get walked on. So if someone's saying things about you
by different groups called cults, Keith Raniere sued me for 14 years before the lawsuit was dismissed. He wasn't like Werner Erhard, who I regard as a pretty smart guy. He knew when to cut his losses and move on.
Yeah, he's still a company.
Raniere was like fanatical. I mean, he just kept going after me, and that was one of the reasons that he ultimately imploded, and he's now in prison serving.
Yeah, so Keith Raniere not related to Landmark at all, and then Keith Raniere, and then what do you call it? Landmark's Warner's a smart guy. Keith Haring and Raniere, and by giving a cease and desist is not a threat, it's a legal tool. Keith Raniere cult. So if someone sends you a Keith Raniere, American cult leader, yeah, human trafficking. Okay, nothing related. If you get a cease and desist letter and you want to call it a threat of a lawsuit, that is not like that is making it mean something. It's literally just you said something inaccurate. Please stop, or we will sue you. It's not a threat. Anyway, and then release every personal injury lawsuit that they have settled. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you other than they change and not change is the wrong word, but transform, alter, come up with a whole brand new company outlook on anything that were to have happened. And it seems to me that anybody that was concerned about a personal injury or some sort of bad thing, manipulation, whatever, seems to me that now, looking back at it, they actually are better off than they were prior to doing the forum. And yeah, there's all these people like, oh, it was like the best thing ever. I have the best marriage ever, the best job ever, the best family ever. I'm making a difference in my community. I just don't like that they pressured me. So if you felt that way on behalf of them, and I don't represent them whatsoever, I don't work for them, and I have nothing to do with them, I apologize that you felt pressure. That wasn't the intention. It's not fair for you to have felt pressure, but that wasn't what they meant. And I'm not making an excuse. And if you were pressured, that would be bad. And feeling like someone was telling you what to do is not effective. So I don't know like what people said. Give me the exact he said, she said. You can't give me one sentence of a conversation and make that mean something when the person said five other things before and after that thing that you were upset about. Um, it's not even you getting upset anyway. It's it getting upset and you have the upset. Um, so yeah, give me a he said, she said. Give me a full set, like take notes on what they said because they're not saying anything to physically or mentally harm you whatsoever. It's only to empower you. That's all it ever was. Um, yeah, it's so funny how nobody can give an example, and then people are like, "Why is nobody speaking up?" Well, maybe because it's an effective organization with 94%, 93% effective rating. Like, what did you think that a great company that's making a real difference would look like? Like, I understand how we want to like nitpick and worry and be concerned over what companies do that's illegal or ineffective or immoral or whatever. Um, Eventually we were going to get to a point where we had companies that had integrity, that did what they said, that fulfilled on their promises. Um, what did you think that was going to look like?
Being 120
And do you think that those people wouldn't sue anybody ever? It doesn't make any sense. They of course would.
years sentence.
They have intellectual property protect.
The reason I asked about Landmark was actually because for some reason, I'm from Vancouver. I no longer live in Vancouver, but for some reason, there was a number of people that I knew in Vancouver who got involved with Landmark.
Yeah, it's like really good people. And then some people were like, I had to lose some of my friendships. I'm like, do you still have their phone number? Like, what do you mean by lost? Um, I mean, I definitely have friends that I haven't communicated effectively with, but I know why I haven't communicated. Like I found recently the reason why people would have a concern that they have is because I didn't tell them from the beginning, this isn't meant to be a lecture. This isn't meant to be a talk. I'm not talking at you. Um, and that's just one thing alone. That if I had just said that from the beginning of a bunch of a conversations, then they wouldn't be able to come back at me and be like, well, why are you lecturing me? Dude, I'm looking out for you, bro. I just listened to you for 20 minutes complaining about your problem, and I want to ask you some questions that'll give you some insights that'll give you the answer to solve your own problem, having nothing to do with me. I'm not going to give you any answers for anything. Anyway.
And the reason that I know about Landmark is because more than one of them tried to recruit me into
Yeah. There's no recruiting. You're not coming to work somewhere. You're not joining an organization. It's not a church. It's not a place you go to. It's not for community.
That's what they do.
I thought,
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm happy and you say that you want to be happy and I say this is a way that a lot of other people got happy. You don't want me to tell you about that? Like, like when we come up with the way to heal cancer, do you not want me telling cancer patients about that? And are cancer patients going to fight me on that they are right and they'd rather be right than have cancer or be healthy, rather? They'd rather be right than be healthy. Absolutely, it's gonna happen. Um, it's just like what, how do you want me to tell you about something that's really gonna benefit you and I have nothing to gain out of it whatsoever?
But this seems sort of like a cult.
Did they invite?
Other than I'm happy or that you're happy. Like happiness isn't a thing where it's like money, and if I cut $1.50, you get 50 cents and I get 50 cents. Happiness is limitless, expoundless. You can have as much happiness as you want, and the 10 people around you are all happy too. Like it's just
Invite you to their graduation?
They did, but I didn't go. I did when I was.
yeah, there you go. Like, oh yeah, they invited me, but I was a no. It's like, okay, you were a no. Like, so you were a little closed-minded at the time. It's like just shows that like you don't actually want to know what it is. You want to, I don't know, talk around it and talk to people that haven't even done it, that think that they're an expert on it. Just because two people are breathing air, they must be in a cult.
When I was young, like when I was like maybe 20 or something, I went with a couple friends because a friend of ours was involved and wanted us to come to
Sounds like a bunch of friends all looking out for each other. Sounds awesome.
one of their, I don't know, like recruiting seminars essentially.
Yeah, it's not a recruiter.
I can't remember what they called it. And I left halfway through because
Yeah, like just it probably will be uncomfortable for you. Just don't leave early. And like if you are someone that leaves things early, like are you in a committed relationship? Maybe you left a committed relationship early because you thought you couldn't make a difference in someone's life. And you just kind of like were like, ah, screw that, and then go on to the next one. Or maybe you leave early from a job right before things are about to change and everybody gets a bonus.
it started to get to the point in the seminar where they start to try to pressure people to break off into.
Yeah, again, don't, I didn't mean, nobody meant to be pressure. Like, oh, you're splitting apart, therefore it's pressure, peer pressure. No, no, it's just break up into smaller groups. And that now it's like one-on-one over a Zoom call, the introduction at least. So you don't, I think this whole concern that she had about, a pressure breaking apart, it like doesn't even happen anymore.
Separate rooms. And it was like,
Yeah, because it's just one-on-one,
like, nah, I think I'm gonna leave.
at least for the intro.
And then, but a couple of my friends went and got involved, and even more recently, I've known people, and people
Look at this guy just shaking his head over and over again. She's giving like pretty much like, I don't really know, but a lot of my friends did it.
who are really intelligent people who know a lot.
Yeah, the average person happens to be a little bit more intelligent that does the forum. Maybe that says something. You don't have to be intelligent to do it. It's nothing against people that are less educated.
About psychology.
It's not about psychology whatsoever. It's not psychological in nature. It's not psychiatry, not psychology, not philosophy, none of that stuff.
Who are still
You're comparing it to psychology.
involved and who, asked him.
Oh, she was saying that her friends are in psychology and they did it. Yes, because it's not.
Me out for
It gives them a whole new understanding of psychology and allows them to not step over things that they see as supportive for their patient.
a drink for food, and then at a certain point we're like, so
Yeah, I mean, it's done all online. There's never been any drinks or food. Like maybe if you went to somebody's house one time, like, but again, they don't even do that anymore.
oh, we're thinking that you should, don't even think about it, just come. And I was like,
Yeah, because it's not you thinking, it's it thinking. You're having the thoughts.
pretty
And
busy.
they don't really.
Yeah, you see, I'm pretty busy is an excuse. Like, whatever. If you can't do it right now, like that's fine, but just set yourself a deadline. Like, I'm going to do this by the end of by June 2026. And then yeah, fulfilling your promise. Like, it's what makes life so difficult is we promise to do something and then it doesn't happen, and then This stays on top of a list of a bunch of unbroken promises that were never fulfilled.
They tell you what it's all about.
No,
I mean, look, landmark.
Yeah, well, look, if I was trying to explain enlightenment, I wouldn't be able to do it. That's why nobody can explain enlightenment. That's why nobody wrote a book. Then people put the book down and they were like, I am now enlightened. Like it does not happen. Like it exists in a conversation. It's the only way for enlightenment to happen.
Became part.
And yeah, it's not easy to explain. Like you can't explain it. There is no explanation. Like, do you trust me is the question. If you trust me, do it. If you don't trust me, like I don't, well, we've been friends for 20 years. Like how, where have I gone astray? Like, I don't.
Part of what later became known as Nexium. And
No, a guy took the forum and then went off and started his own trafficking and went to jail for 120 years. Like Nexium's no longer around. Nexium never had anything ever to do with Landmark whatsoever other than Nexium ripping off Landmark.
How that works. Keith Rainier.
And bam, the guy's in jail. And bam, we have a clear and lots of video in color of exactly what this guy did and how it doesn't work. That is the example that knock wood, we never have to set again because it's done and over with. And I guess this guy's saying Keith Hernary too. I don't know if that is Vanguard. That sounds like Vanguard. Same guy.
Was a plagiarist. I mean, he sued me for copyright.
Yeah. Okay. So he's plagiarizing. There you go. So Nexium was a plagiarist. There.
Violation, trade secret violation.
Not only was it sex trafficking, it was plagiarism.
And supposedly because in critiques of Nexium, I published on.
Again, this is what is the title of this video? Why Landmark Forum is not a cult expert, right? Oh, why it's not a cult. So weird though. She's not standing up to him at all. She's just letting him rant and then talking about Nexium. And meanwhile, you put Landmark in the
culteducation.com, the writings of two doctors that were the first critical analysis of Nexium to be put out for public consumption. And Ranieri wanted to take that off.
Oh, my fault. That was the next video. This video is called Is Landmark Forum a Cult? So she hasn't done it and he hasn't done it. It's the blind leading the blind.
He wanted to kill it and he never did.
And like, is Landmark Forum a cult? And then you're talking about Nexium and Keith Hernary and like, what? Why are you continuing to clickbait me?
And what those doctors found.
You put in there Nexium, 120 year in prison.
And what I
plagiarist eats his own words.
Is that Ranieri copied much of what became the seminar series for Nexium from Landmark Education. And it was infused with teachings from Scientology, such as negative people are suppressive persons.
Again, Keith Hernary did this stuff. It's like we both drink water. You must be in a cult if you're drinking water because all these other people are drinking water too.
Those exact words in Nexium's training manual. And then in addition to
that's nothing to do with Landmark.
To that, he would use the philosophy objectivism by Ayn Rand. And of course, Ranieri, who had one time been an Amway
it's like, oh, you two like the same books, therefore you're the same
distributor. No. Then incorporated multi-level marketing in.
Yeah, again, he's still talking about Nexium, yet your thing is about Landmark, and let's see if you put Nexium in here at all. Nowhere. Deprogram people. It's ridiculous.
Into the way Nexium was sold.
Look, I don't doubt that Rick has helped people get out of cults. I hope he has. You just I don't know, the only reason why he didn't do it is because he wouldn't sign the paperwork, and then he's blaming Landmark for not letting him do the course, and he thinks that the paperwork says to sign his rights away. It just says that this course is not psychological, and maybe if you're having psychological issues, it's your choice.
and how people could supposedly get
whether to do it or not. But like this paperwork does not say you lose all your rights. It's just like, hey, if you have a psychological issue, don't come back and suing me when I told you ahead of time that we're going to show you freedom from anxiety. And like, if you didn't realize that anxiety is under your power, not power in a controlling way, but your like empowerment, you have control over it. Not you don't have control over forcing other people to do something, but you have the empowerment to know that freedom from anxiety is a possibility with complete natural and just conversations. And if you want to believe that it's a something that's medically, physically, emotionally wrong with you, and we tell you there's nothing wrong, that is something we didn't tell you that was going to happen from the beginning. And please don't get, there's no need to blame anybody for you know, it, if you're having a psychological issue after the forum, it's probably because you had some sort of psychological issue prior, and it wasn't the forum that caused anything to happen that was in a bad light. Maybe you were miserable, like that one person that maybe committed suicide afterwards. But you know what? His girlfriend apparently registered right after he passed away, and I'm sure his girlfriend lives a positive, happy life. And it seems like that person was miserable, and maybe it's better off for them that they didn't continue to be miserable for the rest of their life. So anyway, I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying that, it's a thing where people die that do this at all, but it's just so he has nothing to lose by signing the paperwork and staying. He knows all the skills on how to deprogram and get out of a cult. So he should be able to do the form. And look, if you're there, Rick Ross is like, oh well, they never talked to me again. Well, yeah, they were just like, bro, if you want to do it, do it. If you're gonna do it, sign the paperwork. If you're not gonna sign the paperwork, like there's nothing I've ever bought in my entire life when I didn't have to like sign for something, like buying a house, buying the solar panels that we're getting. Like we didn't have to, we had to sign something. Um. And they're not going to change all of their 50 years of paperwork that they've spent time revising and revising to satisfy one person that is making the paperwork mean that he doesn't have any rights. You have every right all the time. And that's what this does, is empower you to be, I mean, I just feel like I have more freedom and more right. I don't know if I have more right, but I certainly have way more freedom with everything after the forum than before. Before the forum, I had a lens on which to view life from. Like I was looking through like a lens. Like I was looking through a camera screen. So there was a filter. There was something in between me and my mom that I didn't see my mom as my mom. I saw her as a nag. So every time I saw my mom, I saw a nag first, and it was just blocked. So I couldn't really see who she was. So I'm just
get some money if they sold a friend on Nexium.
Again, you're talking about Nexium and putting Landmark in the thing and saying you're deprogramming, and you're never being clear saying this isn't related to Landmark.
Landmark education is what generically is called large group.
You literally talk trash about Nexium, and then in the next sentence you're like, Landmark is a large group awareness training. Bro, how many people go to your church? How many people go to the grocery store? How many people go to the movie theater? It's not large group awareness training to put out a movie or a song. Like, to pigeonhole that into like it's like drinking 6 glasses of water is large group awareness training. Yeah, it's if it's gonna benefit you, you kind of want it to be in a large group. What do you want me to talk one person at a time forever? This is gonna never occur. And then there's new kids being born faster than I can have conversations. It has to be done with multiple people.
Group awareness training, or an LGAT. And that's when you bring a bunch of people together for a weekend, typically, and you sequester them. They're isolated.
There you go. Sequester them, like sequestering, no isolation.
They'd be sleeping in a
No isolation.
hotel together.
Yeah, I mean now it's all done online, so there are no hotels. But yeah, two people that both wanted to get one person wanted to get something out of their job, and the other person wanted to get something out of their marriage, and they shared a hotel room together. It's like,
Coming back day after day for the summer.
and if you're in a hotel, that means you're not staying. That means you're going home eventually. And day after day, I mean, it's 5 days.
Seminar. And what you do
Yeah, the 10 session seminar series. Okay, so they come back. But it's 13 weeks over 10 sessions, and it's explained ahead of time, 4 hours per session, 13 weeks. It's like it's not like a thing after thing after thing. I mean, if you want to do more, you could, but that's just providing great support. I mean, I don't know any companies that after you buy their product, they offer to meet with you 10 times after that to make sure that you understand the product. Like that doesn't exist. It's like the most supportive company I've ever heard of.
is you're using coercive persuasion technique.
Inviting somebody and listening to what they have to say is not coercive persuasion technique. Look, if somebody says no and that other person continues to press and it is upsetting this other person and they continue to press, that's not the forum. The forum is I hear you, I get you. And then let's stop talking about the forum and talk to me about your life. And after the 10th time hanging out with you, talking about your life and really like being with what's important to you and what really matters to you, I don't know. It's just like you tell me you want to be happy, and then I tell you this is the way to get happiness, and then you call me again 10 months later and you tell me you still aren't happy. Like, do you get this? Can you just check it out for yourself and not believe this lady or this guy? I love you both as people, but I'm not going to believe you or you if you haven't even done it. And I'm not telling you to believe me. I'm not telling you that anything I'm saying is true at all. Because beliefs and feelings and thoughts and truth and false is all a construct of language. We used to not have the word true. We used to not even have the word believe. Right? It just started out with, one word and then 10 words and then we went on. And it's look, all I'm doing is speaking to what you want and inspiring you about what I got and then inviting you to get what I got. And if you want to be a no to that for the rest of your life and just be crotchety and complain about stuff for the rest of your life, then you can do that. But this is all just gossip and doesn't move our humanity forward,
Form technique.
society forward. It just makes people skeptical of the right thing. No, that's fine. Be skeptical. Just be open-minded or be open. Makes people like deterred from the thing that is going to benefit them. And I was just listening to the one on authority tape on YouTube recorded on authoritarianism. Looked like it was recorded or authority in 1990, and he was saying that the form isn't good. Like we literally go over that good and bad and right and wrong was all sea of opinions. So the form itself cannot be something that is good.
To essentially break people down.
It's not breaking anybody down. It's asking questions and you come up with your own insights. It's you thinking for the first time ever.
Change them and then lock.
Well, it's not you thinking, it's it thinking. You have the thoughts, but it's really free thinking. You if I ask you a question and you think about your mom, um that's not me telling you to go call your mom or think about your mom. It's just me asking a question. Like, and it had nothing to do with your mom. You're the one that brought up your mom. Like,
and Landmark has a kind of subculture, including dating, children's course,
or your dad, or your wife, or your husband, or your sister, or your brother, or your cousin.
Social interaction.
Yeah, I mean, it's all done on Zoom, so it's not really social interaction anymore. I can understand how you thought that before. And yeah, you're not going to join something. You're not going there for community. It's not the landmark family. It's not the membership. It's none of that. You're not going there to meet people. You will meet people that remind you of your own family, but the whole point is go be with your family.
So that people can be kind of locked into a subculture.
No, there's no locking in and there's no subculture. Just because I say words that are specific, and a bunch of other people that have also taken the forum also sometimes say some similar words. It's not a subculture. It's just being direct and clear and um, meaning what I say and saying what I mean.
After becoming landmark enthusiasts. But basically,
Yeah, so if there's no good or bad, then there is no enthusiasm. Like it's just I'm not a landmark enthusiast. I am a this worked for me and millions more. And would you come check it out with me? It's not an enthusiasm for Landmark itself. It's not about Landmark. It's not about the person leading the court. It's about the ideas. And the ideas happen to be packaged together by a company called Landmark that doesn't even want to be in business at all. Like if everyone had this information, it's not even information or education. If everyone had these discoveries about themselves, there would be no war. So it's not really like a yeah. I mean, if their goal is to be out of business and they
what landmark is all about is
aren't trying to create a subculture. It's just a world that works for everybody. And that's not you changing the way you are. That's you being you and really being you and being straight with yourself and honest with yourself if you're not being you, and that person being them and that person being them. And you like oranges and you like apples. I'm not going to try to shove an apple down your throat if you told me that you like oranges. Um, but by the same accord, don't do the same back to me. So you get what you want, I get what I want. Maybe we can work together.
downloading the philosophy of Werner Erhard,
No, there's no philosophy. Warner's not talking about philosophy.
its founder.
It's
And
ontology.
that philosophy, according to Landmark,
There's no psychology, no philosophy. It's not a philosophy according to Landmark.
is a cure-all for everything.
No, it's not a cure-all for everything. It's customized to you. So if I thought my mom was a nag, um,
I mean, problems at work,
I'm not, it's just customizable, man. It's like you deal with your own stuff. They just asked a question. Just because you thought about your job when they asked that question doesn't mean it's a cure-all for your job. That's you thinking and taking the idea that humans are born to look through this lens and filter everything through a certain lens until you know what the lens is and that the lens is there or lenses exist, then you can choose to look through the lens or not look through the lens. That's free thinking. Um, it's not a cure all for everything. It's just customized. And yeah, if you're pissed off about something in one area of your life, that sometimes leads to people being pissed off in a second area of their life or not fully enthralled with that second area of their life. Versus if I figure out a way to handle that, I figured out the way. The landmark didn't have anything to, they didn't give me the answer. I figured it out on my own. I am now happier here at work and happier at home. Um, that's not a cure-all. That's just me going from being a pissed off person to being a happy person. And the happiness doesn't stop in one area of your life. And it's like, oh, I left work. Now it's time to go home and be pissed off again. It's like, no, if I'm happier at work, I'm gonna be happier at home. They like there is you're one person. You're not like gonna
solve it with this. Problems with your marriage, solved with this.
and
Problems with whatever.
I mean it for what you're saying, it's super beneficial to corporations and the economy. And I mean, I guess some small businesses, but like you always can alter and shift when you find out new things, right? So if this thing was being made in China for 50 cents and I figured out it was made in America for a quarter, like why would I continue to buy it for China for 50 cents when I can get it here in America for a quarter? Um, so yeah, I mean, look, it answers a lot of questions and could dissolve a bunch of industry. It wouldn't dissolve the industries. It would just have them be operating with integrity.
Solved with this. And
So it's not like the Landmark Forum is now putting marriage counselors out of business. Well, what if marriage counselors suggested people do the forum? They got their marriage all handled real quick. I mean, he's the best marriage counselor in the world, right? If you actually fix the problem and didn't have me keep coming back to you. And then maybe that marriage counselor needs to get another stream of income coming in, either from another product that they offer, a separate type of counseling, or maybe they offer something else having to do with marriages or a completely other thing, or they figure out a way to start having passive income when they're investing in income producing assets. Either a company that has a history of producing and you get paid at a certain clip on that stuff, or an apartment building that is 90%, 95% occupied that pays me every month or every 3 months, where I can have that income that I quote unquote lost from no longer having to prolong a marriage upset into 10 sessions to try to maybe fix a marriage one day in the future, and just deal with it now versus wow, our marriage is like we were when we met. This is unbelievable. And now I'm going to tell everybody else about your marriage counseling too. And
it's a combination of, ironically, again, bits and pieces of Scientology, which Earhart studied.
so Warner, I mean, it's not wrong to look into Scientology, right? It's just wrong to like pressure other people to do it or like have people sign billion-year contract. And like right and wrong is a tactic, right? If someone wants to do that on their own, free thinking, that might be a little bit of a different scenario. It just doesn't seem that most people that are locked into a billion-year contract are free thinking. Um, I mean, I can't say I haven't had a conversation with them. That would be an interesting conversation. I need to check more into this ex-Scientologist thing. But the point is that Warner took it and they were like, okay, you've passed the first level now, Warner. You are now a level 2 Scientologist. And at this point, Warner had read enough of uh, L. Ron Hubbard's literature as well as, 20th century philosophy and Buddhism and Heidegger, all these sort of things. And put it all together and figured out how to get the results that he was looking for his own life and in tune with other people too. And he clicked and he said, "No, I'm a 5." He told him he was a 5, not a 2. And I mean, I'm kind of making up some of this story, but the point is that he left Scientology. So to say that this is part of Scientology or Scientology light is, again, it goes back to the water. Oh, you guys are both drinking water, therefore you're in a cult. It's like, no, it's like, um, just because I take a book and I take a sentence out of that book, and that sentence is applicable to 100% of people on the planet, and I read that sentence out and it impacts everyone in the room. And then one person's like, "Well, wait a minute, I read that in a Scientology thing, so therefore you are Scientology. You're just sign. No, no, I just read a quote that Scientology maybe happened to publish that happens to impact everyone in the world. I'm not saying do Scientology. I'm not saying this come from Scientology. I'm not saying anything like you have to be here at all.
The large group seminar approach of Esalen, and also the philosophy
Esalen doesn't sound like it's anything to do with Landmark.
of a German philosopher, Heidegger.
Okay, so he got stuff from that guy and mashed it all together and put it together for the forum.
It was all incorporated in Earhart's training. The thing to really understand about
Yeah, like if something works for 100% of the population, why would I be like, oh, that's just some stupid philosophy or some psychobabble religious whatever. Um it just seems ignorant to not see it say like even every single atheist still finds value in sentences of the Bible. Like that doesn't I don't know. And I hope that Christians and Catholics know that atheists do know the Bible well and know quotes from the Bible. So it's not like they're not following
Landmark and other groups
the things that the Bible said that are effective for people.
like Landmark that tell you that they're
Landmark's not religious at all, so it's just an example of like just because a book is a book and some of it maybe you don't like doesn't mean I have to bash every single sentence in the book. If one sentence makes me a million, then it was worth a million, even though I don't like any of the rest of the book at all. It's fine. Nobody's asking you to like it.
program will solve all your problems, and then they have all these testimonials about how great my life is since I did Landmark, since I did the forum, et cetera, et cetera. Is there's never been a research paper that has been published in a peer
Yes, the Harris polls.
reviewed journal that establishes objectively
A peer-reviewed journal because they're not psychology. There are no peer-reviewed journals of ontology. It doesn't exist. It's not I guess it's a science, the science of being. Um, yeah, no, nobody is established enough aside from them to be able to peer review it, I guess. Are there professional ontologists? I don't know any at all, except for people that work for Landmark, I guess. Um, but yeah, Harris polls is independent research. 93% of participants found they made a profound and lasting difference on the way that they lived their life after the forum. So, I mean, look, you don't get 94% satisfaction rating and 34-year-old business and $100 million a year business if you're not effective.
that there are any benefits from this type of training.
It's like there's 7,000 anecdotes, but I still want a peer-reviewed study. It's like, how many anecdotes do you need? How many testimonials do you need before you say, okay, all right, maybe I was the one that was misinformed. Let me just check and see. Maybe I'm completely right, but maybe not. Let's check it out.
For example, you
See
take
for
a
yourself.
group of people that go through Landmark,
Yeah.
and you ask them, going out a year, going out 2 years, going out 5 years,
Yeah, are you ignoring that exists and has existed? I don't know when that study was done, like 2000 something, 2023. Yeah. I was there in 2000, what, 10, 12, something like that. And the Harris polls were very open.
are you making more money? Are you making grades at school?
I am making more money. Yes, yes. I've done like 10 or 12 different moves in my life that have made me a lot more money. And I don't know if those things would have happened um, without the forum. I was already graduated, so I didn't have grades in school at that point. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess if an 18-year-old takes it, you could see on their college grades, but it's 4 years. But yeah, surely if they stayed focused on college, then their grades would most likely improve. Um, Now, if you tried to do school and also tried to do something else at the same time, I'm not saying your grades would go up then. Um,
Are you going to marriage counseling, or
yeah, I don't need marriage counseling.
is your marriage just going great? You never go to marriage counseling.
Yeah, I tried marriage counseling and I mean it worked as like a band-aid.
Are you on any medication for any?
No, got off my medication and replaced it with nutrition and with a doctor. And I understand that if I do eat processed foods, then I'm probably not going to be benefiting with that. But overall, long term, the nutrition is working, and I don't I do my best just never to cheat. Like if something looks sweet and delicious, I'll smell it. I might have one bite of it, like a mouse bite. Um, or if you were to cheat, which I don't suggest, don't beat yourself up over cheating. Just cheat and then make sure that you're like fully stocked fridge of good foods and throw out all the bad. And I got the kid and the wife that isn't fully eating everything that I'm eating. So there is food that causes me acne or a prolonged mental state. I would have to eat junk food for a long time now to go back to some of the mental, challenges of ADHD that I was having prior to shifting my nutrition. But yeah, over the course of like 4, 5, 10 months. I don't remember how long it was, shifting slowly from a lot better nutrition and a little bit less of the medicine until the medicine was like all gone. I didn't really even notice any difference, and definitely notice a difference focusing on the nutrition side of things.
Anxiety or stress.
Yeah, it's not a cure-all, but when I have freedom and happiness, I don't have stress. And if a stressful situation occurs while and like after I've discovered this about myself of how to create the happiness and the freedom, I'm just I don't know, like not to say that I never get angry or upset or overreact. I just am able to navigate and figure out like lily pads. Like if I'm a frog and I jump on this lily pad and there's nowhere else to go to get further, like I just hop back a lily pad and then hop forward to these lily pads. And I'm able to navigate my life such that that stress goes away quickly. Whether that's a day or takes longer than that is up to I guess how committed I am. Um, but yeah, stress is not it's just way less. Just like 95% of my days are, if not 100, are like happy and free. And then yeah, all right, sure, 5% of my days are a little stressful. I mean, but again, that's all made up anyway, right? I made up that it's stress. I could be like, all right. Like sometimes I'll be like forgetting exactly what I'm doing next because like I was on a computer and I didn't have my notes like right next to me, and like so I'm like, wait, what tab was I working on? Like what was I doing again? And I could make that mean a stressful situation. And sometimes I do. I'm like, God, what was I had something to do. Um A, that's just me not having the notes there, but like B, that's like it's made up stress. I could just be like, oh, like let me just make sure the notepad's there. I don't know. It's just
There are ways to objectively measure whether the training is effective. And Landmark has
so Harris polls and thousands of testimonials. What else do you want,
never
bro?
done that. None of the LGATs do, even though they have millions and millions of dollars that they may make from participants.
No, we can't compare the thing that's legit and effective and has integrity with all these other copies of that. That's just watered down, people trying to make money off of what they got out of it and possibly, probably plagiarizing. Good thing though, Landmark is just, trademarked a few of their terms so that people can't do that anymore. So hopefully they're
Which could
way less
easily,
money.
they could just take some money
I don't know when that trademark came out. I'm sure a long time ago, probably 2000s.
and fund a research
Probably 1990s.
project and then publish a paper in a scientific peer-reviewed journal.
Scientific. Are there ontologists that write papers? Never even heard anyone in the field of ontology. Like it's forcing me to do oncologist. There are no ontology. Ontology is the study of being, and there are no papers that study being.
They haven't done.
There's a conversation led by people that have been writing this stuff and revising their conversations for 55 years. And Rick, I'm just asking you to give up that you're right about this situation, sign the paperwork and do the course, and then stop talking about it.
On that.
Like if you do the course and there really are cults that are causing harm out there, you will be the hero of the planet that busted apart these cults and got people free. Do you know how many people you could free after you do the forum? You'd be so effective at your work.
Because they know that they don't have objective measurable results.
Maybe other corporations have that. Landmark does have objective measurable results.
And so what they do is they do surveys and people come out and they ask them.
Oh my God. I mean, I understand how you could sway survey data, but they know how survey data is swayed. So they're going to avoid that.
What do you feel you got out of it?
Meaning that they know that it's ineffective to sway data. What do you feel that you got out of it? I don't understand why.
Do you feel good about
it? That seems like a pretty.
Do you feel?
I don't think they would ask, do you feel good about it? Because they know that the forum isn't good or bad.
It's fantastic. And of course, the Landmark.
Do you feel it's fantastic? I really don't think Harris Polls asked these questions in regards to this. You feel it's fantastic. Feelings aren't real. So sounds like you're making up words that they asked. Because you don't know that feelings aren't real. They're real feelings. They're just not real. And so you're inserting what you think they would ask to make something biased and then pushing it out on how many people does this video? 26,000, 17,000 viewers.
Is great at manipulating people psychologically.
You literally manipulated 17,000 people by making this video.
And emotionally to have.
By telling me that you're right and we're wrong. Psychologically and emotionally, no, it's not psychology and it's not emotions. You will find that emotions aren't real. They are real emotions. They're just not real. It's it feeling. It's you having the feelings.
Subjective feelings that it's great. The training is great. But that isn't science.
It's not a subjective feeling that it was great. It's me making more money, being less stressed, being happier, having a better marriage, having a better parenting relationship with my kid, having better friendships. I mean, at least my best friend who did the forum, we have an awesome friendship. And then I have other friends that haven't done the forum, and I don't know, man. It just seems like you're like, I don't know. What if you find out that you were stuck in your ways? I'm not trying to tell you that you're stuck in your ways. I'm trying to tell you that you told me you wanted X, Y, and Z. I told you how to get X, Y, and Z. You told me, well, I don't need X, Y, or maybe I'll do it later. Like, I'm already making more money and having a great social life. So therefore, I'll do it later. I told you I would do it. Dude, you don't have any integrity saying you're going to do it or I'll do it later. It just doesn't. You either do it or don't do it, but why would you put something off that's 5 days each course, so 10 days total? 10 days and $1,830 for the rest of my life. It's just like the cheapest thing ever. Like enlightenment, peace of mind, happiness for the rest of your life.
Typically measurable, objective results. And again, you want to see lasting results over a period of years.
Yeah, again, I can't compare and say that I wouldn't have made the financial moves that I made if I hadn't done this, but I got to tell you that I tell all my friends about the financial moves that I made, and for some reason, they just want to do things their own way. Or they'll come back to me later and be like, oh, I watched that guy, Grant Cardone. He's pretty good. And like, just because Grant happens to be a Scientologist himself has nothing to do with the public books that he's written. I mean, it does for him, but just because he happens to be that doesn't mean that I am suggesting that you be a Scientologist. I'm just telling you that I learned how to sell from Grant. I learned a lot of like motivational things from Grant, which is not Landmark at all. Landmark's inspiration. It's completely different sex. And I spent my time getting what I got out of Landmark, and then was like, okay, I gotta hone my customer service skills. It's not really sales at all. But just my speed to which responses and something sounds like I know what I'm talking about. It's not really faking it if you do know what you're talking about. It's just before I mostly knew what I was talking about. I just didn't know how to like formulate it in a way that would like come off best for them. And by like creating the script myself is one thing, but like if I could just copy someone else's effective scripts and they work for me, they work for the customer, they work for the company. Like why do I have to rewrite my own if somebody already did it correct? Like I don't like there's just so many books from the 1900s to 1950 that people didn't read, and then they want to walk around acting like they're experts, and it's like, oh, did you read The Richest Man in Babylon? And they're like, no, and it's like, well, like I understand how maybe you got it through osmosis, but like don't pretend like you know how to be wealthy if like you're not wealthy and you're like trying to teach people how to be wealthy and like anyway. Um, So learning how to sell from Grant made me a lot of money. What are the other ways that I made money after the forum? Yeah, sales before I knew Grant. I learned sales from other people and was ranked top 5 in the country consistently for different campaigns. And like I don't know if I would have been that effective. I don't think I would have. The real estate thing where I own real estate buildings that are 95% occupied that pay me rent checks every single month. Um, I don't know if I would have done that. I might have just left my money where it was because that's what my dad did, and that's what my dad told me to do. And my dad was worried about the real estate thing, so I could have just stayed and done that. But maybe because of the freedom and the happiness and the understanding that well, that's advanced course stuff. So, but that the freedom and happiness that I got out of the forum, that I was able to freely think and say, I get your concerns, Dad, and do it anyway. And it's been like the best investment I've ever made, probably. Other than investing in myself and being happy and free. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Uh, oh, being healthier. Saved a ton of money off of well, the ADHD medication, and then um pricey food. I don't necessarily need to buy pricey food as long as there's nutrition involved, but I bet cheap food and processed food, it doesn't help me. I'm actually spending money, harming myself, helping a company that doesn't care about me, and then I'm taking ADHD medicine to cover up the bad things that I ate prior. So now I'm not paying for the ADHD medication, not paying for the junk food. Um, let's see what else. I don't know, canceling silly term and life insurance contracts when I can get a whole life insurance that maybe doesn't have the high death benefit that I'm looking for, but still has a cash value and doesn't die after 30, 20, 15 years, 10 years, whatever it is. Um, that's saving money. It's just like every little thing that I buy, I have a free thinking look at it. And I mean, this is media literacy and like decision making, dealing with salespeople literacy. Like if the salesperson can sell you on a product that looks good according to them or looks good on paper, and they make a big commission on it, and they're bragging that they work for a great company because they get paid the most commission, and you don't know how all the finances work on the back end. Not necessarily saying that you have to, but like on the life insurance thing, I'm like, okay, so you're saying that I pay forever, I get 2,000 if I die, I pay you 20 bucks a month, and even after how many years is that? 20 bucks, 240 a year times what, 2 years would be me paying in $2,400 for a $2,000 life insurance policy. Um, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. So why would I pay you more than you're gonna put in? And people are like, oh well, like people need life insurance, so they got to pay that 20 to be able to get the 2,000, and maybe they die soon. But it's like, and the nutrition's gonna make me live longer, so it's like, you know, seems like just the nutrition is a life insurance policy within itself. Anyway, I've saved at least $1 million, and I've made 1 million, and I attribute it all to the forum and the advanced course.
As established by meaningful research, and publish it if you really believe that your training is so effective.
There are other things. Landmark, uh, worldwide studies, independent research. Harris polls is just one of them I was mentioning. There was a separate one, I think. There's Australia. IMC Inc. report, evaluations of landmarks programs. There you go. The IMC Inc. report. Okay. So between Harris polls, the testimonials, the IMC Inc. report, and the fact that it's challenging for you to find any real negative reviews that are open to the public. Right, I see like, oh, is landmark dangerous? Then I click on it. It's like this post has been deleted and archived. It's like, I'm glad it's been deleted, but I still found it on Google and it's not accurate whatsoever. Harris Interactive Independent Study. So there's IMC Inc. and Harris Interactive. Those are the only two I ever heard of before. Yeah, so I mean, like, I don't know. I understand how you could be sus about it, but also, what if you found out 20 years later that it was actually beneficial for you and you just spent 20 years ragging against something that you didn't know about? Like, it's just setting yourself up, bro. You're gonna come back to me 20 years later and be like, bro, I should have listened to you 20 years ago. And I get that a lot. Oh man, I should have listened to you 10 years ago, man. Okay, so maybe that's a sign that maybe you want to listen to me now? So wild. Anyway, I hope you're having the best day ever. Ask me whatever questions you want. And we'll get back to doing capitalism and society soon. I don't have too many more of these videos criticizing Landmark, but we'll check out what we got and hope you're doing well. Bye bye.